Hello, I'm Graham and welcome back to Man vs Film. This is going to be a top 10 of movies you can watch right now on Netflix US for the month of August 2018. So let's get started with number 10, Jurassic Park. Huge investments in scientific technology have enabled a mogul to create an island full of living dinosaurs. John Hammond has invited 4 individuals along with his 2 grandchildren to join him at Jurassic Park. But will everything go according to plan? With Jurassic World just arriving on the big screens and ultimately disappointing me anyway, I went back to Jurassic Park and just relived the magic that is that movie, which is still holds up fantastically well today. Its mix of practical with some CGI really lets the movie stand the test of time. It is a movie that I have loved for the longest time and I will continue to do so. I love all the characters, particularly Jeff Goldblum's Ian Malcolm, who every time I see on screen just lightens the screen up for me. And you know what, it was nice to go back to a Jurassic movie that was actually really enjoyable. Number 9, Menace to Society. This urban nightmare chronicles 7 days in the life of Kane Lawson following his high school graduation as he attempts to escape his violent existence in the projects of Watts, California. I remember in the early 90s that 2 movies came out that really tackled similar subjects. There was Menace to Society, there was Boys in the Hood. One kind of ran away as the most notable movie, but Menace to Society is just as powerful, if not more so, and one that deserves to be seen. It talks about an existence that I don't really know much about in this timescale with this neighbourhood, with the problems and the persecutions that they had and the weight of what life choice they were going to make. Is it going to be honest or is it going to be criminal? How are they going to survive in this world where their friends do things that aren't always the most pleasant things? I think Menace to Society is a movie that stuck with me throughout the years. It's one I go back to every few years and I kind of enjoy, but not at the same time. It's just a terrific movie and well worth checking out. Number 8, Scream 4. Sydney Prescott, now the author of a self-help book, returns home to Woodsboro on the last stop of her book tour. There she reconnects with Sheriff Dewey and Gail, who are now married, as well as her cousin Jill and her aunt Kate. Unfortunately, Sydney's appearance also brings about the return of Ghostface. Being a horror fan, I'm always going to be indebted to Scream for reigniting the horror franchise in the mid-90s, but more than that, it's a fantastic movie that, as well as homaging lots of horror tropes, it kind of circumvents them as well. We have the returning character of Sydney, who through all these movies we've really seen grow and shape into the person that she's becoming. She is not a damsel in distress. She's a very resourceful woman who fights back against these warped colours and somehow always manages to outwit them. But it's nice to see a reoccurring character actually develop in such a manner throughout a series of horror movies where the characters are genuinely the least exciting things about them. They usually focus on the killer and the kills. This time in this series we have characters. It's a shame we may never get to see a Scream 5. Number 7, Hellraiser. The tale of a man and wife who move into an old house and discover a hideous creature, the man's half-brother, who is also the woman's former lover, hiding upstairs. Having lost his earthly body to a trio of demons, he is brought back into existence by a drop of blood on the floor. He soon forces his former mistress to bring him his necessary human sacrifices to complete his body. Clive Barker writes and directs from his own original story, Hellraiser, a movie that if you haven't seen, wow, you're in for a treat. This one has some disgustingly grotesque yet fantastic horror sequences, really good makeup as well, and this horrifying tale of something going bump in the attic that is slowly poisoning all the souls round about them and killing indiscriminately as well. It is a fantastic horror movie, one that stands the test of time. Number 6, Black Butterfly. Outside a mountain town grappling with a series of abductions and murders, Paul, a reclusive writer, struggles to start what he hopes will be a career-saving screenplay. After a tense encounter at a diner with a drifter named Jack, Paul offers Jack a place to stay, and soon the edgy, demanding Jack muscles his way into Paul's work, and the 2 men begin a jagged game of one-upmanship. Jonathan Rhys-Meyers and Antonio Banderas star in this straight-to-video movie that is actually not too bad. The only problem I have with it is the The endings, there seems to be several, and they each get worse as they move on. Still, I love the characters and the playmanship between these two guys. Even though it's not a big grandiose story, it's still a fun story to get lost in, and to see the people just chewing up the scenery with their performances and never quite sure where this story is going to go. Having seen storylines similar to this before, it kind of kept me guessing as to the end point of the movie, which did actually come as a surprise to me. Apart from one of the endings. I did see that coming a mile away. Still, fun movie and well worth checking out while it's on Netflix. Number 5, Catfight. The rivalry between two former college friends comes to a head when they both attend the same glamorous event. Catfight is a movie that just seems to have missed everybody by and nobody's really checking it out. Starring Sandra Oh and Anne Heche, this is a story punctuated by 3 enormous knockdown, brawled out fights between these two women that just shows how this one act can totally transform their life. The movie starts, we have one character who is a rich, well-to-do woman and one who is down in their luck trying to get their artist to happen. They have a big massive fight and the roles are reversed, and then they have another fight and more happens, and then there is one final fight, and the fights are bloody, tense and just knocked down, dragged out, dirty. And I think it's something that really needs to be seen to believe, how there's always this competition between women. They're never building each other up, they're always trying to tear each other down. It has some nice social commentary that way, and it's just an interesting if unusual movie. Number 4, Boys and Trees. It's Halloween 1997, the last night of high school for Corey and his gang. Childhood is over and adult life beckons. But for Corey, his past and some unfinished business when he encounters Jonah, a former childhood friend but now victimised by his gang. Corey takes pity on him and agrees to walk him home for old time's sake. What starts off as a normal walk through empty suburban streets descends into something darker and magical as they tell each other ghost stories. Boys in the Trees is a fantastic movie. I can't stress this high enough. It was sold to me as a horror, but it is so much more. Yes, it does have horror-centric moments and nice atmospheric moments throughout it, but it's more about these two people and how life has just kind of forced them apart and caused these once really true friendship, really great friendship that they had, to become poisonous and antagonistic to each other. And now that school is over and that environment is getting left behind, they kind of try to fix and mend some of the bridges that have been broken throughout their relationship. Tremendous movie, fantastic. If you haven't seen it before, I highly recommend checking this one out. Please let me know if you've seen it and what you think of this one. Number 3, Certain Women. Certain Women drops us into a handful of intersecting lives across Montana. A lawyer tries to defuse a hostage situation and calm her disgruntled client. A married couple breaks the ground on a new home but exposes marital fissures. A ranch hand forms an attachment to a young lawyer who inadvertently finds herself teaching a twice-weekly adult education class 4 hours from her home. These 3 stories aren't connected in any way, shape or form. They just focus on the 3 women and how this moment of their life is just affecting them, how they are dealing with things and just how they are living their lives. It is anchored by 3 terrific performances of the main leads, and everybody else who's in the picture does fantastic as well. It's a movie that, although it doesn't have a narrative to drive it forward, keeps you hooked, keeps you interested and gives you more than just one interesting character. It gives you several to really pry into, to see their inner self. Fantastic movie. Number 2, Heathers. In order to get out of the snobby clique that is destroying her good girl reputation, an intelligent teen teams up with a dark sociopath and a plot to kill the good kids. I love Heathers. It's one movie that I've watched lots of times throughout the years. It stars Christian Slater as the sociopath and Winona Ryder as the good girl who wants out of this clique as they go about just murdering indiscriminately the Heathers. There's 3 of them that rule this school. It is darkly funny, it is deeply entertaining, and it is a movie that I absolutely love, and I just one that I can throw on and get lost in countless times. If it's a movie you haven't seen before, it's another must watch for me. Number 1, Tower. Animation, testimony and archival footage combined to relate the events of August the 1st, 1966, when a gunman opened fire from the University of Texas clock tower, killing 16 people. Tower is one of the most unique documentaries I have ever seen, animated with a really visceral style. This one gave me an insight into the events that happened on this day and date. Talking to the people now and then animated as younger selves as they talk through their own stories adds real punch to the story. Like I said, it's visually striking, the tale is captivating, and it focuses on just this one afternoon as everything just went to pot and how everybody was feeling in the aftermath of this event. Again, if you haven't seen this and you're not too keen on documentaries, give this one a go. It's short, it's punchy, it's interesting, and visually completely different from everything else I've recommended on my list this time. There we have it, 10 movies for you to check out. I'd love to know if you find something that you enjoy, something you hate, something you think I've missed, or something you would like to recommend for me. Let me know in the comment box below, and I will see you next month for another top 10. Thanks for watching.